What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Scythe, and today we're going to be talking about the new Trove Geode themed costumes. So these are going to be related to the Geode surface, and they're pretty expensive. They're not really difficult to get, which is what I like, so long as you end up putting in the effort of actually grinding them. So over in the Geode Hub area, which, when this update ends up hitting, I don't know what the hotkey is going to be on console, but on PC it's Control A. We're going to have the Atlas available to us at all times. Love that update. Like, seriously, devs, très magnifique. Really appreciate it. It is absolutely awesome. We got access to the tutorial area if you're wondering what that is, but we can just warp on over to the Geode Sanctuary. So while there is going to end up being the Topside biomes, the Geode Sanctuary is going to end up having a little bit more usefulness to it, in that you're gonna have to go to the Crystology table. So I hope you guys have been leveling up your Crystology, because there's going to be a couple new items out of this, including some mounts that we'll talk about in another video, and then more importantly, these 5 different costumes. So there's going to be one for the Vanguard, which is going to be this one right here, and it's a pretty cool costume, but also kind of disgusting. Like, I wish that it didn't have that tentacle sticking out of the side, you know? Generally, I find that to be a little bit gross, because otherwise it would have been really, really cool to just have it as a normal costume. I don't like the legs. I feel that they're a little bit too thin, and I really, really don't like the cape. Like, it feels like the top half of this costume is really, really buff, almost like Samus or Metroid or something like that, and then the rest of it is kind of just like, oh, you know, that's kind of gross. Now, the video effects of all of these costumes are just going to be rehashed. Near as I can tell, it's not really anything unique. I think this is just the same video effects from the Cash Shop costume, which is the skeleton costume. So it's just going to be all the same standard stuff, and you know, it's still a really cool costume, though. I actually kind of like it, and it's slowly growing on me. What can I say? But I really do hope that somebody ends up modding it and just removing that tentacle and making the cape like a full fleshed out cape, because I think that would actually have been a lot better. And then there's going to end up being the which ones do I have? I have the Knights one. We're going to be showing all of them off, but I actually have footage of both Joe and Merc, who ended up helping me get the other costumes here. So this is going to be the Knight, which, I mean, I don't know. Do you like it? Nightmanes out there, let me know. You know, hit that like button if you like it. Hit the like button if you don't like it. Let me know in the comments. Do you think this is a cool costume? Because honestly, I don't really main the Knight so much. I think it's okay. It's weird, though, because as far as the lore is concerned, like, one thing that, you know, Merc, me, and Joe have been kind of making jokes about is that, technically speaking, doesn't this mean, like, in roleplay that we're, like, covered in sand and dirt? Like, this would be the equivalent, because this is a geode surface right here. This is Topside. This is the equivalent of making desert armor out of sand, you know? Like, it's really, really weird. And, of course, you know, the video effects, again, not really anything unique out of it. Even the ult, lazily enough, doesn't change anything. Wouldn't expect it out of the class gem, but whatever. For some reason, they end up going the extra mile with the Boomeranger, though, so I wish that they ended up doing it with these other characters. So then up next, we've got my personal favorite out of it, which is going to end up being the Revenant. And oh my goodness gracious, it looks so beautiful. Like, this is probably one of my favorite Revenant costumes, guys. Like, it feels endgame to me, you know? Even the colors and stuff like that, even it being the gross red, it's like, I don't care, I'll take it. I love the helmet, love that it's kind of got the cat ears going for it. It's kind of like a Batman costume, but I just love the overall feel of it as well, because the shield goes very well with the helmet, and then there's the spear itself ends up working out very well, kind of ends up being in theme with, you know, his hands and his armor and stuff, and it just, I love this costume, dude. I really, really do. It kind of looks a bit wonky from the back, though. I don't know if that's because we don't have a full cape blocking us, and normally with the Revenant we have the cape kind of blocking the character, so maybe the animation just looks a little bit goofy and weird because of it. I don't know. But the video effects, I don't know if these are new, honestly. Like the spear one, that might be from a Lancer costume. I'm not sure. The shield bash, of course, is nothing unique. Your number 1 is just kind of the normal default yellow. And then, of course, your ult is just going to end up being the default as well. But it still is a really cool costume. I personally really, really am a big fan of it. It's just too bad that I don't really like the Revenant. I don't want to main him, dude. Like, he's kind of disgusting to me. So then I'm going to end up inserting some footage here. And this is going to end up being the Barb costume, which it's not really bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. It kind of makes him a little bit bulky and buff, which, I mean, honestly speaking, it's a bit disappointing that they've just added another Barb costume, because we've already got so many Barb costumes. Like, Barb definitely is like the dev's favorite. Not necessarily a fan favorite, but the dev's favorite, because he's got like the most costumes in the game, near as I can tell. And his ultimate ability ended up actually being changed to some weird, I don't know, it's like a tentacle ice cream cone or something. It's kind of disgusting. I don't really understand it, but whatever. I guess I'll take it just because it's there. And then we've also got the Boomeranger costume, which isn't too bad. It's actually a pretty good one. I'd say it's kind of up there with the Revenant costume. I actually really like it. And I mean, they ended up going the extra mile of changing every item for him. His boomerang, you know, his ultimate, and the pots and the bombs that end up throwing out of it. Even his chickens ended up changing into weird geode slugs and stuff. And it just kind of is a bit disappointing that they didn't end up going the extra mile with the other characters, you know. But it's still a really, really cool costume. Now, that said, I think that the biggest reason why they didn't end up changing the video effects with any of these is because the developer that was making all their video effects no longer works there. So it might be a while before we end up seeing video effects end up coming out. Because to be fair, all of this stuff was already pretty much done. And now they're just kind of rushing it out, right? But one thing that I'm wholeheartedly disappointed about is that there is only 5 different costumes. And this theme that the devs have, which I can't stand, in that I want to have a costume for every character. Like, I feel like they're playing favorites here. Boomer is another character that just seemingly gets so many costumes, despite the fact that not many people main it. Most of all because of the dumb knockback that it has, making it a pretty much useless character for grinding in U9 or when U10 comes out. Just because you're knocking enemies around like an idiot, and he's not really useful in Shadow Towers unless you end up using a bow, and even then, other characters just kind of do what the Boomeranger does, but better, you know? Like, he definitely needs a buff, more so now than ever before, because Gunslinger's just that much stronger with the new Zerk emblem. But either way, these are all going to end up being pretty expensive crystal-wise. They're going to be 2,500 crystal each, so that's a little bit tricky, man, because you're going to end up needing quite a lot. I think it's like 12 or 13,000 crystal, which means that unfortunately you're going to have to go back into the Geode Caves if you don't already have it right now. But you can start preparing, because this U10 update is probably going to be right around the corner. And then it's also going to end up costing you 100 crystalline cores. So the way that you end up getting those is you go to the Topside and end up completing 5-star dungeons. And you basically want to try and complete those 5-star dungeons before the timer reaches 1 minute and under, or just in general beat it. If you beat it before it reaches 1 minute and under, you're going to end up getting 4 caches. And if you end up beating it under that, you're going to end up getting 2 caches. And these caches are going to end up dropping the crystalline cores, as well as gem augment items and stuff like that. And then for the Viridian and the nitroglycerin, I just call it nitro. Let me actually hop into the geode surface area so I can kind of show you guys what this is about, because it is a little specific. And just in case you guys are just watching this video, I want to let you know about it. But for anybody else that already ended up watching one of my other videos talking about like either the gems or the crystal gear and stuff like that, it's you probably already know most of this stuff. But the biomes themselves on the map, you can see there's 3 different colors. So there's light red, dark red south of us, and then there's the medium red, kind of the middle color, just normal red to the right of us. So that medium red is the hot spot you're going for, because that is going to be the only biome on the map that is going to end up generating with a cave system. So let me actually find one here and show you guys this. So usually what you're going to be looking for is these big cracks in the world, because that's going to end up being a cave. And the caves are really, really cool. I actually like them a lot. They generate like this, kind of very similar to the volcanic biome. And there's only going to be 2 new ores out of this update. So this green one right here, this is the Viridian, which you need a lot more of it, but honestly you get a lot more of it as opposed to the nitro. I would say that the nitro is pretty bad, because you actually need a lot of nitro, not only for crafting this stuff, but just leveling up your crystal gear in general. And usually you'll only find it like 1 at a time. So I don't know. I'm hoping that this is going to end up being affected by Ore Day, let alone us actually having Patron. and then hopefully is going to end up making it that much easier to end up actually grinding the nitro. Now that said, we're on the test server, so everybody, like, the market is absolutely broken, but on the live server, the ore is tradable, so that's gonna make it a lot easier to get this stuff. That said, I would say that you wait to get these costumes and instead save the resources and the ore and stuff like that, rather than getting the mastery, more so that you want to level up the crystal gear. So the crystalline cores, by the way, those are not going to be tradable. Those are just out of those lesser caches, or you can get them out of greater caches, which is going to be a new store item. So anyways, I think that pretty much covers all the new costumes. I'll have another video that talks about all the mounts and stuff like that. Otherwise, thanks for watching as always, everybody. Very much appreciated. Don't forget to like, sub, hit that notification bell. There's going to be lots more stuff talking about all this U10 and everything like that. Honestly, there's not really as much as you would think with the U10 update. It's just kind of very grindy. The funny thing is that, you know, Merc, myself, and Joe, with our combined effort, we kind of got all the costumes done in like a day. So if you were just non-stop grinding this day one, you would probably be able to get all of the costumes pretty easily, dude. So at least within a week. Like, I like the fact that they're easy to get. Now that said, you gotta have a higher levels towards your Crystology, of course, but I like the fact that it's pretty attainable. In any case, if you want to support me and go the extra mile, you can always sponsor the YouTube channel with that join button down below, buy some of the merch. Oh, hi, Mark. Or check out the link down below to Gawkbox, which is a way you can donate to me for absolutely free by basically playing phone games for a couple minutes. Sign off and stay epic, everybody.